Howdy folks, I hope you're all having a good weekend and welcome back to Robocop Rogue City. Yes, I know, a Sunday video, what can I say? I got bored on Saturday, so I thought I'd crank out a bonus video. Plus, Pacific Drive's coming out in less than a week and I'm sure I'm going to want to get immersed in that, so I need to wrap this Robocop series up. So anyway, despite the failed bank job, the leader of the Street Vultures, Spike, is still at large and he may have useful information on the whereabouts of Wendell Antonovsky.
All right. The situation at the bank was contained in a relatively smooth fashion. So what did we learn from it?
When it's their money on the line, OCP will send Robocop, the entire SWAT team, and a bunch of Ed 209s that actually work.
Anything else?
Wendell Antonovsky no longer deals with the Street Vultures.
That's right. There's been a rift in their midst and I want to know why.
Spike has proven to be talkative under suitable conditions.
That's why I want you all to head to the city and do some actual police work. We need to find Spike. The attack on OCP Bank was a desperate move. I'm sure there's plenty of theories floating around. So we need to listen to what the streets are saying to find where the vultures are hiding.
I know someone versed in street talk.
Talk to him. And oh, I almost forgot. Murphy, once you're downtown, the old man wants to meet with you.
Oh, the old man himself? What an honor.
Yeah, he's the closest Detroit has to real-life royalty. Maybe for saving him all that money, he'll knight you or something.
Enough! Head downtown, ask around, and most importantly, find Spike.
Before we can get involved with that though, politics.
Robocop! Over here! You wouldn't want to make the mayor of Detroit wait, would you?
I would be more than happy to make the guy who sold the police to OCP wait, but okay.
May I help you, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, it's me who's gonna do the helping. You know John Mills, I presume? The OCP puppet who's gunning for my seat as mayor? I've heard from a reliable source that he's planning to make you the highlight of his election bid. Judging by your expressive face, he hasn't talked to you about it yet, huh? That's what I figured. What a slimy bastard. Using your image to influence the good people of this city, and without your consent? That's clearly something that I would never do. But you know that I've always appreciated what you're doing for our city, right? So, the real question is, what are we gonna do about it together?
Together? Suddenly you're my best friend?
I am not involved in politics.
Well, let's not get too hasty. You can still show support for me, right? We're on the same side. I need to go. Campaign season is busy, but let me leave you with one word of advice. Whatever you do, make it clear that you are not siding with Mills. You can be sure that they'll twist your every word and use it against you. That's what OCP does. Thanks for the talk, Robocop. Say no to Delta City. Vote for the neighborhoods. Vote for Kuzak.
Yeah, vote for the guy who sold the police to OCP, who was making a deal with the drug lord Kane to secure funds to drag the city out of the pit of bankruptcy that it's been under his leadership. I think I'm going to stay out of it. At least I'm going to try. But I'll bet you the game's going to make it as hard as possible for me to do that. In the meantime, the rest of the cops have still been screwing around with Ulysses.
Where was the meeting point supposed to be?
Yeah, just keep following the road.
But the road ends here.
What was that? You're breaking up.
Am I? I'm hearing you clearly.
Oh my god, what a lemon.
You two seem to be enjoying yourselves.
Just having a little fun with our fellow dispatcher.
Don't worry, I'm sure the kid has a sense of humor. It's just a little blue hazing. And he's an OCP stooge anyway.
You're not going soft on us, are you, Murphy?
That did not sound like fun.
It's not like he didn't deserve it.
You know that he runs tobacco with a stack of papers every time you two talk, right? He's a rat.
We're just looking out for you, Murphy.
Yeah, thanks guys, but I am entirely capable of looking after myself, and if your hazing gets the kid hurt, there will be trouble.
How are you feeling after the incident at the bank?
Who gives a shit? I heard that you're heading to the city. Once you're out there, I want you to check one apartment for me. There's suspicion of domestic terrorism and corporate espionage, so expect a warm welcome.
Should I assume hostility from the suspect?
I assume you'll find sensitive data there. Look for it thoroughly and make sure it comes straight back to my hands. Tenement across the street from the arcade, apartment 12. Now go, I've got to prepare for a meeting. And remember, if you won't take care of it, another cop will have to. Another cop that isn't quite as resistant to deadly surprises as you are.
Domestic terrorist, huh? I remain unconvinced. It's Becca. You can always tell when Becca's lying. His lips move. So, first things first, back to downtown Detroit, and a meeting with the founder, president, and CEO of Omni Consumer Products. How was this going around? And why are we meeting here? I mean, this looks suspicious as all hell. And it's OCP, so I should be on my guard. Although this is apparently the main mission. Spike in a haystack, tracking down Spike. There are OCP bodyguards here. Limousine. Doesn't look like I'm being given the runaround.
Hey you, the old man is waiting for you upstairs. This entrance to the building is off limits. You have to use the staircase.
Really?
Do you think it's gonna hold his weight?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're deliberately messing with him. It's not like I can do anything about it. I am OCP property after all. But why meet with the old man in this shithole? I don't get it.
The old man's waiting. So, it's true what they say. You do have some kind of defect.
Well, it doesn't feel like I'm being set up, but why meet with the old man here of all places?
Oh, it's good to see you, my boy. Leave us. I want to talk to him in private. You have to excuse me for not getting up. I'm in a rather unfortunate state. You did exceptional work at the bank. I want you to know that I am deeply grateful for your service to OCP and the city of Detroit. See, I grew up in this very apartment, or what's left of it. It used to be a thriving neighborhood. Nothing like what you see right now. I always dreamt of turning it into the most prosperous district in the city. A new heart of Detroit. Can you imagine? Or do you think it's just an old fool's pipe dream?
Let's try to stay neutral on this.
I agree with all city improvement plans that have the citizens' well-being in mind.
Glad to know you approve.
Not what I said, though, is
City's
it?
construction is about to start. Finally, the old and frail will be replaced with the new and strong. Decay and death are terrible things. You lose everything you worked for your entire life. But I don't have to tell you what that's like. It really makes me wonder, has the time you spent in that armor been a burden to you?
What exactly is this guy getting at?
The only burden it causes is to criminal scum.
I admire your confidence. The real reason I've summoned you here is because I'm worried. I'm aware of your instability problems, and it's not a matter that we can overlook. That's why I've requested to have people look after you. Tell me, how are you finding your evaluations with Dr. Blanche?
She is genuinely trying to help.
I am happy to comply with any activity that improves effectiveness.
You're a good sport. I can imagine it's not a pleasant experience, but I can't express how much I'd like you to keep at it. I'm sure that becoming a liability is the last thing you'd want. Am I right?
That is correct.
Now we've reached an understanding. Tell me, is there anything I could do to put your mind at ease?
Huh. I mean, Lewis is getting medical attention. You could maybe fund the police properly.
My fellow officers worry about OCP's intention regarding their work.
Really? I'll have a word with Becker. Perhaps some new equipment would boost their morale.
It would be appreciated.
I have to say, you brought a lot of hope into this old man's heart. Now, excuse me. I'm not supposed to exert myself too much. Doctor's orders. And you can't argue with them.
Well, you could. I mean, OCP doesn't just own the police, they own the hospitals as
Take care
well.
of yourself. After all, the peace of Detroit depends on your well-being.
I don't know how to feel about the old man. I mean, he always comes across as sincere. And yet he is the head of an objectively evil corporation. And despite all of the shit that OCP gets entangled with in, well, the first two movies anyway, there's always a convenient scapegoat around for him to throw under the bus and deny any knowledge of involvement. I mean, it's possible, maybe even likely if you watch the first two movies, that he doesn't actually have any knowledge of all of the shit that his vice presidents are pulling. But, I mean, that doesn't exactly, you know, indicate that he's got a particularly firm grip on the company that he's supposed to be running. Oh well. So, I'm not sure what all that was about. It just sounded like he wanted to be reassured about something, but I don't know. I'm sure all will become apparent in due course.
Hey Murphy, are you done with the old man's tea party? Remember to get back in touch with your informer. See if he has any info that could get us back on the biker's lead. Spike is still out there.
Oh yeah, Spike.
OCP wants to raise towers of glass and steel? Go ahead. Just not where we live.
Yeah. And say goodbye to all of this. Yeah. That's the thing about the Delta City project, because OCP wants to tear all of this down and build a new city over it. A city free of crime, except for white-collar crime. A city free of poverty, because only the rich will be able to afford to live there. You know, back in 1987, when the first Robocop movie was made, the idea that essential public services would be sold off to private corporations in order to be run for profit, things like the police, prisons, medical services, essential public services, in the hands of private corporations, this was considered satire in 1987. The original movie, at least for those of us who actually got it, was considered heavily satirical. Meanwhile, 40 years later, don't worry, I'm fake laughing. Only the tears are real. Anyway, the domestic terrorist mission. Let's see what this is all about. I'm going to have a good nose around first, though, rather than heading straight for the objective. See if there's anything down here. Oh, there is something. Dear Cat Helper, what's this about? Stop feeding the cats in the basement, they shit all over the place. Yeah, they do that. Okay. Oh, now that you're back here in downtown Detroit...
Go back to your room, sweetheart. It's just someone on the staircase.
There's another one of those protect and serve missions where you have to basically issue tickets for minor crimes. There has, since I recorded this video, been a patch that actually puts objective markers for them on your compass at the top of the screen, so you no longer have to search every corner of downtown Detroit in order to find them. So that happened. Right, here we go. Let's just quickly check around the corner here for more Evidence of crimes before we smash the door in. I'm assuming I have a warrant. Here we go. Hello? A trap. Okay, this is actually kind of suspicious. But, at the same time, my weapon has not come up at the ready, which indicates that there isn't actually any kind of immediate threat. So this is kind of confusing. Don't know what kind of trap it was. I mean, it could have just been a... Alright, there's stuff to check out here. I didn't know, because it didn't actually tell me whether or not that was some kind of mine. Storage bill, pick up the cat food. Yeah, not relevant. Take the fishmonger's statement. What? Terrorists taking people's statements? Something doesn't track here. The trap at the door might have just been a tripwire to indicate to the occupant whether or not somebody had actually been in the apartment. It wasn't necessarily an explosive trap. The game didn't specify. Still, continue checking for evidence and stay on the alert. Something over here. Just electronic components. Nothing suspicious. Anything in here? Oh, hello. Secret door. Anything else? Doesn't appear to be. I need to scan it first, of course, before I can actually use it. But yeah, there we go. Floor markings. Secret entrance detected. So, what do we have in here? Just making sure there's no other traps. What's this? Rental invoice. Storage unit. Oh yeah, the post-it on the fridge did mention paying the bill for the storage unit. Hello? I think somebody knows we're here.
So OCP is ordering you to break into the apartment of a reporter they don't like? Any comment before I write a story on that?
I am here to investigate domestic terrorism.
OCP sent you to my safe house because they want to know what I have on them after the bank incident.
I assume there is more if you cannot store everything here. I found a rental bill for a locker in a storage facility.
Make up your mind. First you let me go at the bank, and now, when I'm actually starting to figure out what the OCP scam is all about, you show up and ruin this. Do you want to help OCP avoid liability?
She's not exactly making my life easy, is she? I mean, I realise that her intentions are pure, and she's trying to protect the innocent and serve the public trust, but she's also breaking the laws that I am sworn to uphold. The fact that her heart is in the right place is the only reason I haven't arrested her.
Your evidence is invalid if you obtained it illegally.
I don't collect it for the court. I won't win against OCP there. It turns out I was right. That thing that OCP plans to do with charging residents of Old Detroit with additional costs, it is a loophole. It will lead to the illegal expulsion of thousands of people if you help OCP silence me.
Explain.
Not so fast. I need to be able to trust you first. At the bank, you proved that you are more than just a tool programmed to obey OCP, but now, the stakes are higher.
What is it that you expect?
Since you're here, I fully expect someone from OCP to go and check my locker. I need to protect what's inside, but there's a meeting I need to keep an eye on. Too much depends on it.
I will not be involved in the smuggling of contraband.
There's nothing illegal about my request. I need only one box from there. The one with the inscription Bakery on the corner. The rest you can leave to OCP to pick up. I need to just spring clean my out-of-date documents anyway. Call me once you secure the box.
I hope I'm not going to regret this. I'm probably going to regret this. Oh, there's more stuff in here. Anything else? Oh, an OCP training bit. Free skill point. I now have 2 skill points available. Man, fake IDs. She's not really helping her case here, is she? Anyway, let's take a look at the skills. Oh, 2 points away from maxing out combat. which should give me a bonus 50% weapon damage. But I kind of need engineering at the moment, for reasons that will become apparent shortly. So, OCP are trying to frame Samantha Ortiz, the journalist, as a domestic terrorist and get her arrested. Because she's just uncovered evidence that OCP are basically scamming the residents of Old Detroit out of the promise of a share in Delta City in order to convince them to sell up their property so Delta City can be built over where their property used to be. I'm a little short on the details at the moment, so I am taking her largely on trust, but well, she hasn't exactly lied to me yet. Whereas OCP, on the other hand, yeah. So hopefully this is all going to pay out, because I am technically breaking the law by assisting her. But, I mean, I do have 3 prime objectives. Only one of them is uphold the law. The others are protect the innocent and serve the public trust. So, to the storage facility. By the way, have I mentioned yet how impressed I am with the environments in this game? I mean, it's no Night City, but downtown Detroit in particular is very impressive. I mean, some of the character models and animations are a bit janky, but this isn't a big budget game. I mean, this isn't something like Ubisoft's new Skull and Bones that cost $200 million and is objectively worse and looks worse than the nearly 10-year-old game that it was based on. I think Teon have done a remarkably good job with this. And I am enjoying it.
Man, it's Robocop.
So what? We're just sitting here enjoying the moment, nothing suspicious. Right, officer?
Shouldn't we give the fellas the signal?
We should just shut up and smile like the exemplary citizens that we are.
I suspect there is going to be trouble. Fortunately, I have a large supply of bullets. Oh yeah, I can use these, can't I? Put points into the vitality skill. Use these fuse boxes to recharge them. And I can carry an extra recovery charge around as well. Right. A lot of these storage units are open, and there is some crime evidence inside them, so I'm going to want to pick all of this shit up before I get involved in what is almost certainly going to be a gunfight.
Are you lost, officer? I can show you the exit if you want.
I'm good, thank you. Or, you know, alternatively, I could just trigger the gunfight and then pick all of this crime evidence up at my leisure. We'll see what happens. How many of them are in here? So there's 2 watching the door. There's another 2 upstanding citizens simply trying to access the contents of their storage locker. Any more? Certainly plenty of evidence lying around. Oh, I've triggered something.
Trouble with the lock.
Seems that I forgot the key, but,
You will tell your story at the station.
Are you sure you have enough seats in your car to take us all?
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If you do not come quietly, I will not need any.
At least 8. I think I've got this. Oh, grenade. Shit. Wow. Okay, there's more than 8. There's substantially more than 8 of them. We don't appear. No, there's a couple more contacts. There's at least another 2, another 3, another 4. Holy crap, how many of them were in here? My health's alright though, 72%. I haven't had to use a recovery charge. There he is. Friend 2. So, 2 more. Maybe the 2 at the entrance. Whoa, whoa, what was that? Oh shit, a grenade. Yeah, that's the dash ability. Comes in very handy. Right. Let's use the recovery charge and pick up the spare. So, investigate the unit. Which one was it? Oh, there it is in the corner. Right. So what do we have in here that was so important? Not the OCP documents, surprisingly. Not those OCP documents. Personal belongings. Really? Okay. I don't get it. She got all these files on OCP, and she had to break the law to get them. And she's alright leaving them behind for OCP's goons to recover. I mean, she's in possession of all of these incriminating documents, and OCP is willing to frame her as a domestic terrorist in order to get them back, and she's perfectly happy to leave them behind. And she wants me to just recover her personal stuff? Is this some kind of test? Oh, hang on. That looks like OCP. Looks like we got here just in time. Or maybe there's a method to her madness.
Well, well, well. Looks like Mr. Becker was right. You're up to something behind his back. These things are supposed to go to Mr. Becker, I reckon.
How about you just fuck off?
What will interest Becker is in locker number 17. The contents of this box are none of OCP's concern.
I'll have to tell Mr. Becker that you have not given us all the material.
I assure you that it will end up worse for you than for me.
I mean, I suppose since OCP were clearly onto her anyway, and I just got there ahead of them, that giving up the incriminating documents that she has on them doesn't really cost her anything, and if anything, it gets them off her ass and drops the domestic terrorist charges. And recovering her personal belongings, maybe it was some kind of test to figure out whether or not she can actually trust me. Although considering that I have actually broken the law and assisted her in breaking the law on a number of occasions now in order to get these documents, you'd think that she would trust me by now.
So I'm guessing you have my stuff. Did OCP arrive at the party?
They tracked my location.
Because they trust you so much. Speaking of which, the box. What if I lied about it? Did you ever think of that? There may be a bomb inside or the head of my sworn enemy. Do you want to know what's inside?
Sure, why not?
If there is evidence of a crime, I would like to know it.
Police officer, first and foremost. In the box are my personal belongings. Letters, memorabilia, things that actually matter to me. When you become too tough to hit directly, the scum will try to get to you through your loved ones.
I understand.
So we have even more in common. Once OCP takes care of my old documents, I'll have the space to deal with the Delta City issue and help the people of Old Detroit. You've helped them already, though. Thank you. Ronnie's Grocery. Leave the box there.
Oh, okay. She still has the Delta City documents hidden somewhere else. These were OCP-related documents, but not relevant to the Delta City case. Plus, if you stop to think about it, okay, OCP have just recovered some documents that incriminate them in various different shady doings, which they could use in court to get Samantha convicted of domestic terrorism. But how exactly are they going to present those documents in court? Think about that for a minute.
What do you mean, $1? It's $23.50.
I have Samantha's belongings.
Ah, yes, I'm glad you're helping her. Without that girl, OCP would put us all on the street. Still might. They did a number on a lot of families, hers included. Samantha's mother took it worst. But that's not a story for me to tell. Anyway, leave the box in the back, next to the cat food. She's supposed to pick up everything tomorrow.
Yeah, think about that. Here you go, Your Honour. Here are documents that prove that Samantha Ortiz is a domestic terrorist. Hang on a second. These documents implicate OCP in all kinds of illegal activities. That's not important right now, Your Honour. Oh, go on, let's take a look. Blah, blah, blah. Letter from her mother. Yeah, she's on the level. I mean, I always knew she was. And I'm sure OCP would love to hammer her with domestic terrorist charges, but good luck making that stick with the documents that she's stolen from you that implicate you in all kinds of illegal activities. I mean, she was absolutely correct that she couldn't present any of this documentation in court as evidence against OCP because she obtained it illegally. The only way to legally introduce this documentation into court as evidence against anything would be if OCP tried to introduce the documents as evidence against Samantha Ortiz on a domestic terrorism charge. The documents that incriminate them in all kinds of illegal activities. I'm sure she would just love for that to happen. Yeah, go on. Take your best shot. Let's see you try to use those documents in court. Yeah, I don't think Ortiz needs to worry about any domestic terrorism charges, certainly none brought against her by OCP. There is no way they could make those charges stick without ruining themselves in the process. Anyway, that's more or less it for today's bonus Sunday video in Robocop Rogue City. There's still plenty to do here in downtown Detroit before we even go so far as to get in touch with Pickles and see if he has any kind of idea of where Spike, the leader of the Street Vultures, has gone to ground. But all of that will be coming up in future videos. In the meantime, hope you've all had a great weekend. I hope you've all enjoyed this one. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.